Are you in every way, woman?
Welcome back to Everyway Woman. Joining us today is Dr. Nimmi Kapoor from Breastlink. Dr. Kapoor, thank you. You have been such a wealth of information for this series that we're doing on breast cancer awareness. But I have learned a lot just from interviewing the survivors.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to ask you is, I thought that all women had to lose their breasts.
Yeah.
In breast cancer. That's not true.
That's definitely not true. Actually, more and more as we go forward, the future, breast cancer has been constantly evolving. It used to be this very deformed look of a picture. It's called a radical mastectomy. Take the whole breast, even the muscle, sometimes even the ribs, 50 years ago. Now that we have screening mammography and we're finding cancers that are so tiny, we can't feel them even, we can do much, much less. So several studies and trials have been shown that we can do what's called a lumpectomy, just taking part of the breast.
And that's when a woman doesn't lose her breast.
Don't lose your breast. You just take out the cancer and some normal tissue around the breast. You save the shape, the feeling, the look, almost all the time if we can.
And is that because it's caught early?
That's because it's caught early. Yeah, that's why we do screening mammography, so we can catch those cancers before they require removing the breast.
Okay, so I didn't know that. So thank you for clearing that up for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. Women come in with a stigma. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my hair. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to lose my breast. I'm not going to be a woman again.
All I know sometimes is from my mom's a breast cancer survivor, 11 years. She lost her breast. So that's one impression that I have. And then the second one is what I see in the media. So when I start interviewing the survivors and they were telling me their stories, and we did a series, 31 Days of Breast Cancer. Right. And I had two women who went through the whole process, radiation and everything, but they didn't lose their breast.
They didn't lose their breast, yeah.
And I was just blown away by that. Another thing that I found out through the course of me doing my research for this series was that the nipple. I didn't know that there's no nipple after reconstruction. So am I saying that right? Or
so the breast is made of ducts and lobules. The lobules make milk and transport the milk out through the nipple via the duct. So the nipple has some breast tissue in it.
Is that why the nipple has to go?
So in the olden days, we used to remove all the breast, and to do that, we also took the nipple. Now, with reconstruction advances, we know that for certain cancers, it's safe to save the nipple. It's safe to save the whole skin envelope, including the nipple areola. So
when did you make that choice?
At our consultation, we have to look at all the imaging, all the information we have about the cancer, about the patient. It matters not just where the cancer is, but also what the breast looks like.
Okay. Another thing I want to talk to you about is that in the process of interviewing these wonderful women and men, money always was an issue. Yeah. Money in healthcare. But what I found out from listening to you, Dr. West, Dr. Curcio, is that there are services that women don't have to worry about money. Men also don't have to worry about that. There are programs set up for treatment. And you mentioned that Breastlink has a social service department, right?
Yeah.
Does every facility have that? Or how do they?
You can usually find some form of social service, either obviously with our facility. Otherwise, there's a lot.
Dr. Kapoor, I want to know about how women and men can afford breast cancer care. One thing I learned is that a lot of women are concerned about not being able to go to a certain hospital or insurance and this. But you told me earlier, Dr. West, Dr. Curcio mentioned that you have a social service program. There are programs provided by the state. Even Coleman has a program. Can you go into detail a little bit more?
So I mean, there's a lot of resources. We'd hate for women to wait till their mass is so big that they do the emergency room.
Is that what's happening too?
It still happens. It still happens. Some women are just not aware of the resources. Families, men, children are not aware of all the resources available.
I want to ask you a question. Yeah. When I was in college, I noticed at the health center they had a lot of different heart attacks, diabetes, this. But I never saw anything on breast cancer. Is that a place we can start too in college by getting those pamphlets out there?
They're probably, we don't want to scare young girls that early, but there's definitely resources. Planned Parenthood, for example, a lot of college students are familiar with using Planned Parenthood for their resources, so that's a great source.
Wrong resources, but no, go ahead.
Sometimes good resources too for prevention and protection.
Yes.
Susan G. Komen is a great resource. So, and Affordable Care, Medicare, these are great resources for people to find insurance and coverage for their care.
I have to tell you, when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer 11 years ago, I think the only resource I was able to find besides, Avon involvement in breast cancer was Susan B. Komen. But I remember coming across Breastlink, and I was just blown away with the concept that everything you had was in that one place.
Mm-hmm. Ideally, that's how it should be.
How can someone who may want to relocate or travel here for treatment find out about Breastlink in Iowa or Illinois or something like that?
We get emails. They contact our website. They call us.
So you do get
all the
from out of
time.
state?
Absolutely, I get people who visit from the East Coast and Mexico and Hawaii coming in for their consultation and their visit, at least just a second opinion, and that we can always do with an affordable price.
Okay, Dr. Kapoor, you've been great, but I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
No, you've been great. First of all, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Since 2012, you've been coming to the
know.
show. I know, it's great. But I want to ask you, how do you relax? How do you take time and unwind? Because this is a very stressful job.
Yeah, it is, and that's been going through some changes. I was trying to run a little bit, and then I realized I should be careful. I'm swimming. I have a 7-year-old daughter who's amazing.
And you just got married.
Family. Yes, just got married, so that's been a beautiful part of my life now. Yeah, so having family, friends, and I started reading a lot more. I used to be in my nose deep in medical textbooks, and I realized there's a whole world of literature out there. So that's been a great part of my life as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you have done for Everyway Woman, and I appreciate everything that you have done for breast cancer. Thank you. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Everyway Woman.
Are you an everyway woman?